So every Monday to Friday at 7:30 p.m, Mzansi Magic offers a daring drama series that exposes the very thin line of inequality, opening with the wealthy, lavishly living Ndaba family in the Sandton suburbs, just less than about 5 kilometers away, the township of Alexandra, for many known as Gomora. For Nati, Gomora represents everything she wishes to forget about her true identity. However, that all comes crashing down when her husband is gunned down in a hijacking syndicate orchestrated by her mother. For Pretty, who has devoted herself to running her mother's business and ensuring that the legacy lives on, remains content with a small, humble life. However, with that, the absence of her mother's love maintains her deepest desire, for which she despises her sister. Pretty and Ntati, who live complete opposite lives, now have to coexist in the humble township of Gomora. While the lives of different characters unravel before us, we travel on a journey yet so close to many of us. The series has garnered much popularity amongst viewers, and now we are joined by two cast members, Katlego Danke, who plays Ntati, and Siyasanga, Papu, who plays Pretty, as well as Director Extraordinaire Thabang Moleya, who translates these complex stories. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining us on Weekend Dawn.
Good morning.
Morning, Jacob.
I'll start with you, the director. Just putting together something like this that speaks to many South Africans, because the stories are so real.
Sure.
How did you go about it, putting it all together? And did you think it was going to be such a success?
You know, I always say that when you're working on a project, I don't think you think about the outcome. You never think about the result. You're always in the moment of creating something, and in that creation, you try and remain true and authentic to what you're saying and what you're telling. The project was actually a film by my business partner, who's also one of the executive producers of Gomora, and he wanted to make Gomora as a movie. We then realized that it's got potential to develop and become a telenovela. And with the help of Gwydin and Papu and the writing team at Chedza Pictures, we were able to give you Gomora. Look, it's been a long journey. It's been months and months of us in the writing room going back and forth, pitching it to Channel, and literally for about 4.5 to 5 months we were going up and down and pitching and rewriting until we got to a place that felt like, okay, like we've got a good story here.
All right. Siyasanga, let me bring you in here. Your character of Pretty. You think Pretty depicts a typical African woman and her role and what she does? Do you think a lot of people can sort of connect to that character?
Yes, in all honesty, I think a lot of people relate to Pretty, because I think everyone knows a Pretty somewhere, either in their family or as a neighbor. And I guess that's what I love about her, is that she's so relatable to a lot of people out in the streets, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Katlego, for you, you've worked on many productions throughout your acting career. Backstage, Isitingo, Generations. I'm not even sure if I got it in the right order. And now Gomora. What's it like working on this type of production, if you want to compare it to the productions that you've worked on in the past?
Well, this was a new experience for me, because this was the first time we were actually going to establish the world of a whole new series that nobody's ever seen before. So I wasn't entering into something that already existed, where I had to fit into that world. Here we were creating new characters, new world. We were discovering what journey they were going on. So it was a completely new experience, and I think it must have been a hell of a lot for the writers and the directing team to do. But for me personally, it was just an amazing journey just to get into the world of what Gomora is and what we were painting for the audience.
Thabang, that actually segues into my next question about these different and diverse storylines that you've put together so beautifully. How did you streamline it to make sense to everybody at home, to translate to everybody at home, to understand it as a story that relates to them?
I think for us, like, you know, 7:30 is a family viewing time, you know. A lot of the family members in the household are awake, so it's really about creating something that everyone can enjoy and identify with, you know. I think for us it was like, my gogo loves the show, you know, and I know my nephews love the show, so that age gap is very vast, and to be able to create content that speaks to people from across different age groups is really, it's quite challenging, right? But I think for us, it's really about family. We were very intentional in making sure that we didn't have too much of a big cast. You know, our worlds are like two families, literally, and even those families are not that big. So the characters are small, the numbers are small, but the story is what drives it. And I think that's just like being able to have a very strong writing team and a very strong vision, because with telenovelas, it's very easy to create a very big world with a big ensemble cast, and, you know, you focus on this story thread and then you move to that story thread. But for us, it was like, how do we make it actually makes the writing a lot more challenging, but for the viewers, you can invest a lot more in the characters and the journeys that the characters are on.
All right, Siyasanga, you've got a theatre background. What's it like? What do you like more, theatre or TV?
First love, theatre.
First love is theatre.
Sorry, boss.
But having fun either way on a production like Gomora?
Oh, yes, too much. I think we've literally become a family. When she and I are sitting around, people are like, aren't you supposed to be fighting? Well, we don't actually fight.
Yeah.
It's a part of the job.
Aha.
But I really enjoy the world of Gomora, definitely. But miss theatre. Corona's taken that away from us.
Oh, and I was going to ask about that. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. Katlego, quickly, in 30 seconds, can you tell me about your character and what's the main thing you love about your character on Gomora?
What I love about her is the feistiness. I love that she is so independent and she's so true to herself in every interaction that she has. And she does not compromise. And that, for me, is a lesson that many of us, particularly as women, can take away. You know, just to be within yourself, be comfortable within yourself and within your skin, and just say, you know, I'm me, and I don't care who thinks what about it.
Thabang, quickly, in your words, 30 seconds, can we expect more feistiness and more unexpected revelations of Gomora?
You know, there's so much that's coming. Like, I don't think people are prepared. Like, when I read ahead and I read what's coming, I keep going, oh my goodness. Like, it just, how? Like, how did we even imagine that the story could get there? So stay tuned, 7:30 every night.
All right. We were watching Lockdown and this Gomora show kept coming up and I started watching it, and I just thought to myself, now that I'm a viewer of Gomora, how are you guys dealing with shooting during this time? And do you think that you got more viewership? Because a lot of people were locked down and they started watching it religiously.
Well, it became quite tricky to shoot during COVID times, particularly during the higher levels of lockdown, maybe level 5, level 4.
Yeah.
We were quite restricted in the way that we have to shoot. You know, there's masks, there's social distancing, there's sanitizing that has to happen. So a lot of our processes that would have been ordinarily maybe taken a shorter period of time now have to take longer because we have to sort of follow these protocols. But you know what, we managed, and we're at the end now, well, almost at the end, cross fingers. So hopefully we'll be able to get back to normal and shoot the way we're used to.
All right, Siyasanga, final question to you. What's the one thing you love about your character?
Whew, I love that she's very expressive. Sad that she wears her heart on her sleeve, but I really love that she can express the way she feels, irrespective of what people think.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave it right there. That was the actors of Gomora, Katlego, Danke, and Siyasanga, Papu, as well as the director, Thabang Moleya, just chatting to us about the show and its growing popularity. Apparently, it's going to be quite interesting. So, Mom and Dad will be tuned in tomorrow evening at 7:30, of course.